The Minnesota Vikings defeated the big bad Chicago Bears in overtime 30-27 in a game that they had a 99% chance to win, according to ESPN analytics, with about 1 minute and 25 seconds remaining. And then the impossible happened. Caleb Williams throws a touchdown to Keenan Allen, gets the 2-point conversion, onside kick off Johnny Munt's foot. They pick it up. Caleb Williams, another dot to Keenan Allen, field goal, which I thought the Minnesota Vikings were close to blocking again, because you look at that side where they blocked the first one, whether it's the left side or right side, depending on the angle you're looking at it. And Jerry Tillery was right there again. He bursted through that line, and I thought he was going to block it. He was so close. But one of the storylines following this game is without a doubt Sam Darnold's impressive play. Because this is the first time this season where he led a game-winning drive. Now, he's had multiple game-sealing drives this season. He had a game-sealing drive against the San Francisco 49ers with a field goal. He had a game-sealing drive against the Green Bay Packers. He had a game-sealing drive against the New York Jets. So in the first 5 weeks of the season, he had game-sealing drives in 3 of the Minnesota Vikings victories. And then they lost to the Detroit Lions, where he did not put together a game-sealing drive. They had an opportunity to, but could not convert a third down. They lost to the Rams, where they had an opportunity to march down the field, less than 2 minutes remaining, no timeouts, and then the official missed a face mask penalty, but also Sam Darnold held on to the ball way too long in that situation. So the likelihood of Darnold leading a game-tying drive in that situation versus the Rams was like a very low percentage. Maybe even lower than a 99% chance, or lower than a 1% chance, because someone posted the data on situations like that, and it was like 1 in 250 chance. So Sam Darnold and the Vikings, despite the face mask penalty, you want to give them a chance, but despite that miss, the likelihood that they were going to tie that game and win that game was pretty low. Okay, you're 3-2. You had a chance against the Lions. You had a chance against the Rams. You did it against the Packers, San Francisco 49ers, and the New York Jets. All right. Indianapolis, Jacksonville, Tennessee. You did not really need to put a game-sealing drive together in any of those instances. Maybe against Jacksonville and Indianapolis you had to. But you kind of failed to do it in Jacksonville, but you won the game anyways, didn't really matter. And then against the Bears, Sam Darnold in overtime while facing obstacles, because the Chicago Bears had all the momentum, they had all the energy. Their punt was a booming punt all the way down to the Vikings' 19-yard line. And first play, Sam Darnold checks it out of a run to a pass, and he takes a sack. And it becomes 2nd and 17, which, credit to Sam Darnold, by the way. Was it Sweat that sacked him? When he was sacked, and I haven't seen anyone give Sam Darnold credit for this yet. Well, one, he held on to the ball way too long. Get rid of the damn ball. Again, he held on to the ball way too long. But give credit to Sam Darnold in this respect. The guy was going for the ball. He was trying to strip sack Sam Darnold in that instance. And if he strip sacks him and the Bears recover, that game's over. Sam Darnold held on to the ball with 2 hands, not knowing there was a guy behind him. He went for the ball, probably hits the ball, but Sam Darnold was able to keep it in his own arms, which was absolutely impressive considering the moment, considering the force that was hit on Sam Darnold unknowingly. It's not like he saw him coming and he braced for it. He came up behind him, tried to swat the ball out, and Sam Darnold held on to that thing, which was impressive, which set up the game-winning drive. Because 2nd and 17, he finds T.J. Hawkinson, a contested throw, contested catch. And then 3rd and 10, he finds Jordan Addison. But that wasn't the only obstacle that Sam Darnold overcame on that drive. I got this from Kevin Seifert from ESPN's article he posted. It says, as a result, Darnold overcame 2nd and 17, 1st and 15, and 1st and 20 to keep the drive alive. That included passes of 13 yards to Addison, 20 to Jefferson, 29 to Hawkinson to get the ball to the Bears' 9-yard line. And, some might say this was Sam Darnold's best game of the season. Hard to argue the game against the Houston Texans wasn't, when he goes 17 for 28, 4 touchdowns, 0 picks, a 119 passer rating, but this one was right up there. On the road at Chicago, considering the environment, considering the Chicago Bears defense is one of the top defenses in the NFL with all of their talent back there. And also considering the fact that, besides a few catches Jefferson had, and besides a few pass interference penalties that Jefferson drew, which were valuable plays, Jefferson was pretty absent in terms of the amount of catches he had. Of course, he's not absent in the effectiveness that he has because of the way he draws multiple defenders to him. Bears send 2 or 3 guys to him, which is why Jordan Addison has the career game that he does. But credit to Sam Darnold, because I have been barking at Sam Darnold to do this. Don't force the ball to Jefferson. Don't throw it to him in triple coverage. Jefferson, I feel like he has made comments earlier this year saying, just throw me the ball. Just trust me. I'll go up and get it. But come on. You're putting your quarterback in a terrible situation if you're telling him to do that. And Jordan Addison went out there and had the best game of his career. And I feel like this could have happened before. Against the Rams earlier this season, Addison had a 91% open rate. And he had, 2 catches in that game? Something like that. So a Jordan Addison breakout game has been waiting forever and has been there for the taking for a long time. But Sam Darnold was tunnel vision towards Justin Jefferson, which prevented such things from happening. But you've got to give credit where credit is due. And I feel like my theory that I posted last week, I called Darnold's matchup against the Titans a rare opportunity. And I referenced the longest yard. In the longest yard, Paul Crew goes up to the warden and says, you basically need a kick butt game. Get your confidence up. Get prepared for the season. And even though the Vikings didn't kick the butt of the Tennessee Titans, and it was a competitive matchup for most of that game, they won by double digits, 23-13. They didn't pour it on offensively, but it allowed Sam Darnold to get his rhythm, his confidence, consistency. It allowed him to work on some things that he'd been missing, like he did against the Jaguars. He figured some things out versus the Titans. Let's just say that. He was able to figure things out against a bottom-tier team in the league, and that was valuable because now you go through one of the toughest parts of the season. Bears, Packers, Lions, Cardinals, Falcons, not in that particular order, but there's some tough games coming up. And to have Sam Darnold playing at his peak level at the end of the season is valuable. You've seen Darnold go like this through the season, and then he went down like the stock market, then he went back up like the stock market. Sam Darnold has been up and down this year, but as far as his expectations have gone, he has been incredible. No one expected this from Sam Darnold except for me. I said this earlier in the year. Said, expect Sam Darnold to shock the world. But even at some point, I didn't expect this. Because even though I said Sam Darnold will shock the world this year with how he plays, I also predicted the Vikings to have a 5-12 record. So how much can you shock the world with a 5-12 record? The Minnesota Vikings are 9-2. Nobody predicted this. Nobody saw it coming. And Sam Darnold's play this season, his game against Chicago, the throws, the contested throws with defenses right in his face, how can you not give the guy credit? 22 for 34, 330 yards, a 64% completion percentage, 2 touchdowns, 0 picks, a long pass of 69 yards, took 3 sacks, a 116.1 passer rating, an 82.6 QBR, 2 carries for -1 yards. But Sam Darnold delivered when he needed to and played spectacular, turnover-free football in a tough place to play. Not that the Vikings can't win there, because they've won there in every single game in the 2020s. They're 5-0. And I think they might have won even in 2019. So this myth that the Vikings can't win at Soldier Field is a thing of the past, and it continues to be a thing of the past because the Minnesota Vikings won again. You know, the Soldier Field ghosts almost overcame the impossible. Onside kick, field goal, 2-point conversion. But a lot of bad things happened to the Chicago Bears too. Muffed punt, blocked field goal, stuff like that. So Vikings win. Darnold, impressive. And according to the New York Times, the Minnesota Vikings now have a 98% chance to make the playoffs because they are 2.5 games ahead of the next wild card team and are 1 game behind the Detroit Lions with 1 game to go. Now, I see that number, 98% chance, and I'm like, the Vikings had a 99% chance to beat the Bears, according to ESPN Analytics. And it went into overtime. Bears got the ball first. So, numbers are just numbers at some point, but you got to feel a little confident at 9-2 that the Minnesota Vikings are going to make the playoffs this year.